My friend, there are moments in life when love does not arrive the way we expect, nor does it follow the rules we once believed in. Sometimes it comes quietly, like a whisper in the night. Other times it strikes like lightning, sudden, overwhelming, and impossible to ignore. And there are times when the connection feels forbidden. Not because it is wrong, but because it is greater than anything you were prepared for. Today, I want to speak to the person who feels a pull towards someone they cannot explain. A love that keeps returning, a love that refuses to die, a love that has survived silence, distance, fear, misunderstanding, and even separation. Deep inside, you know something spiritual is happening, something divine, something bigger than you, bigger than them, bigger than circumstances. And the message today is simple. Angels say, a forbidden love is pulling you two together. Prepare for the shock. Let's step into this message with faith, expectation, and humility. Because what you're about to hear might explain the battle you've been fighting for so long. There are moments in life when you look at a connection and you know deep inside this was not something you planned. It was not something you pursued. It was not something you orchestrated with your own strength or wisdom. It simply happened. Arrived like a whisper, like a gentle shift in the atmosphere, like something invisible was pushing two souls closer without their permission. That is because some connections are not created on earth. They are formed in the spirit long before two people cross paths in the physical world. When angels move, hearts recognize each other before the mind can make sense of it. You begin to feel drawn to someone in a way that defies logic, timing, and common reasoning. It feels strange, overwhelming, and even a little frightening because it carries a weight your past relationships never carried. This is what it means when a connection is spiritually orchestrated, not accidental. You may have tried to convince yourself that it was coincidence. You may have attempted to walk away or disconnect, telling yourself it was just emotion, imagination, or a temporary moment of weakness. But every time you try to turn the page, something inside you refuses to move on. There is a pull you cannot break, a quiet voice in your heart that whispers, this person has a role in your destiny. You do not choose them the way you chose others. Something higher, something divine, something sacred chooses for you. That is why the connection feels different. It carries a sense of purpose. It carries a sense of destiny, carries a sense of being led instead of simply being attracted. God does not always reveal His plan all at once. Sometimes introduces a person into your life without explanation. He allows the bond to form in the spirit before it makes sense in the natural world. Is often why you feel so familiar with someone you barely know. It is why your soul calms in their presence or awakens with their voice. It is why your heart reacts long before your mind can analyze what is happening. Angels are often the silent messengers who guide such moments. They align two people at the right time, in the right season, with the right spiritual maturity, even if everything around them looks wrong or complicated. What looks accidental to you is intentional to heaven. You may question it because the timing may seem off. The circumstances may appear difficult, or the connection may look impossible. Yet something inside you knows this person is not random. You feel it in the way your heart shifts. You feel it in the way their presence affects your peace. You feel it in the way your life subtly moves in their direction, even when you try to resist. Is because spiritually orchestrated connections are not built on physical appearances or emotional impulses. They are built on alignment, purpose, divine timing, and unseen spiritual threads that God Himself weaves. When heaven designs a connection, it does not fade with distance, confusion, silence, or obstacles. It survives storms that would easily destroy lesser relationships. It keeps returning, resurfacing, and pulling you back toward them, even after long periods of separation or misunderstanding. The more you try to forget, the more you remember. The more you push away, the more your spirit leans in. This is not obsession or weakness. This spiritual recognition. Your soul knows what your mind has not yet fully understood. God placed something inside both of you that responds to each other without needing permission. Many people ignore such connections because they look at them through the lens of fear, logic, or societal expectation. But those who listen with their spirit understand that heaven's orchestration does not follow human rules. God aligns people for growth, healing, purpose, and destiny. And when He orchestrates it, no force on earth can undo it. The feeling that this love is forbidden does not come from God. It comes from the echoes of your past, the wounds you carry, and the fears that quietly shape your decisions. When something enters your life with intensity, depth, and a sense of purpose you were never prepared for, your first instinct is often to protect yourself. You label it as dangerous, inappropriate, or too risky because it challenges the walls you spent years building. But heaven does not operate through fear. Angels never deliver messages that cause panic, confusion, or shame. They speak through peace, conviction, and clarity. So when your heart feels drawn yet frightened, connected yet hesitant, often not because the bond is wrong. It is because fear is fighting against something meant to elevate you. Fear tries to convince you that this connection is too strong, too sudden, too overwhelming to be trusted. It reminds you of past heartbreaks, old betrayals, painful memories, and unhealed scars. It whispers that opening your heart again will only lead to disappointment. It pushes you into questioning your feelings, doubting your intuition, and overthinking every sign that was meant to reassure you. But the truth is that fear reacts loudly when something genuinely meaningful appears. It panics because it senses transformation. It tries to protect the old version of you, even when heaven is calling you into something new. The idea of forbidden love often comes from misunderstanding your own emotional landscape. When the connection feels bigger than anything you have known before, you assume it must be wrong. Assume something this intense could only bring chaos. But intensity is not a sign of danger. It is a sign of spiritual depth. When two souls connect on a level that transcends logic, the human mind struggles to categorize it. What the spirit embraces, the mind sometimes resists. Angels understand this. That is why divine connections often begin with confusion, because heaven is shifting something inside you long before your thoughts catch up. Think about how many times you felt this person in your spirit, even when they were far away. Think about how your heart responded in ways you could not explain. Think about how you sensed their emotions, felt their distance, or recognized their silence without any physical communication. These experiences are not rooted in fear. They are rooted in spiritual sensitivity. The fear comes afterward, when your mind tries to label what your soul already accepted. Fear also comes from pressure, the pressure of what people might think, the pressure of past obligations, the pressure of your own doubts. But heaven is not bound by human opinion or earthly limitation. When angels guide a connection, they are not intimidated by circumstances. They do not back away because of timing, distance, or external barriers. They see the purpose behind the connection, not the obstacles surrounding it. So when fear tells you, this is forbidden, it is because fear sees the mountain, but angels see the path through it. Many people confuse conviction with fear, but they are not the same. Conviction guides you with peace, even when the message is difficult. Fear, on the other hand, overwhelms you, confuses you, and pushes you into hiding. Thinking about this person brings you quiet peace beneath the noise of your fear. That is not your heart warning you. That is your heart recognizing something sacred. Sometimes the pull feels forbidden simply because you have never experienced something this spiritually aligned before. Fear often appears when healing is required, when a divine connection awakens old wounds. Abandonment, rejection, betrayal, insecurity. You assume the connection is the problem. But angels use relationships to reveal what still needs healing inside you. The fear is not telling you to run away. It is pointing toward areas that need restoration so you can receive this love fully. When heaven writes a connection, fear will try to mislabel it every step of the way. But once you understand that fear is not a divine warning, but a human reaction, you begin to see the truth. The connection is not forbidden, is unfamiliar, powerful, transformative, spiritually assigned, and fear is merely the shadow that appears when something deeply meaningful is approaching your life. There is a reason you feel drawn to this person in a way you cannot explain, a reason their presence stirs something inside you that no one else has ever awakened. This pull is not a coincidence, nor is it a product of imagination. It comes from a deeper place, a spiritual place, a place where souls recognize each other long before words are spoken or decisions are made. When a connection is divine, the bond is formed in the unseen realm before it appears in physical reality. That is why your mind may question it, but your spirit responds instantly. You feel something that defies logic because spiritual recognition cannot be understood through reasoning alone. When two souls share a divine assignment, there is an invisible thread between them. Even when separated, even when silent, even when trying to move on, that thread stays alive. You can feel their emotions without speaking. You sense their presence without seeing them. Their absence feels louder than their silence. This is because the connection does not operate on physical closeness. It operates on spiritual resonance. Their soul reaches out to yours even when their lips remain closed. Their heart pulls you even when their feet walk away. You carry pieces of each other because heaven placed something in both of you that responds on a level deeper than human understanding. It is not ordinary to feel someone in your spirit. It is not ordinary to dream of them repeatedly or to sense when they are hurting or longing for you. It is not ordinary to feel a sudden wave of emotion that does not belong to you. These moments are often signs of spiritual alignment. The connection is not one-sided, it is mirrored. What you feel, they feel. What draws you draws them. Even if they resist it, even if they deny it, Even if they try to silence it, their spirit cannot ignore what heaven has written. They may be confused in the natural world, but in the spiritual world, their soul already knows you. Is why you sometimes feel their energy at unexpected moments. You may be sitting alone, doing nothing special, and suddenly their name, their face, or their memory floods your mind. That is not random. Your souls are communicating. Divine connections have a way of bypassing distance and time. You might go days, months, even years without speaking. The bond stays alive as if no time has passed. Your heart remains open, your spirit stays attentive, and your intuition stays sensitive, because on a spiritual level, the story between you was never truly finished. There are people you meet who affect your life temporarily, but there are others who walk into your spirit and stay there permanently. This person carries a piece of your purpose, a part of your emotional blueprint, an element of your destiny. Their soul recognizes your soul because both of you were designed to understand each other in ways that exceed human explanation. Without trying, they touch wounds you hid for years. Without asking, you awaken dreams they buried. Without planning, you both unlock parts of each other that were never accessible before. Sometimes you may feel guilty for the intensity of this connection. You may doubt your own feelings or wonder why the pull is so strong. But divine connections are rarely gentle in the beginning. They arrive with force because they are meant to awaken you. Your spirit knows the truth before your mind accepts it. Feel drawn not out of desire alone, but out of recognition. Their soul carries something that belongs to yours. Healing, growth, transformation, peace, understanding, or destiny. And your spirit feels safe with them, even if your mind feels afraid. This is why the bond refuses to break, no matter how many times you try. This is why your heart softens when you think of them, even after conflict or distance. This is why your spirit leans toward them, even when your circumstances push you away. The pull you feel is not weakness, it is alignment. It is heaven reminding your heart of its spiritual contract. It is your soul recognizing someone who was always meant to matter. There are moments in life when everything seems quiet on the